The Senate will come to order. The senators will please take their seats. Those persons not entitled to the privilege of the floor will please retire to the gallery. The senators and all in attendance will stand and be led in prayer by the Reverend Teresa K. Roberts, Jubilee Ministries, Richmond, Virginia.
Let us pray. Gracious and abundant God, this morning we come to you with thanks. We thank you that no matter how much chaos and violence surround us, that you are God. And no matter how up or down our community and our lives seem to be at any moment, you are a constant. Your love and grace, your mercy and healing are always working with us, in us, and for us. And for that, we are thankful. We also come to you grieving and mourning the shortcomings of the human condition. We see so many circumstances where people are self-aggrandizing, angry, divided, and confused. We lament the contempt that so often characterizes human interactions, and we pray that we can learn to confront issues and people without harmful conflict. We grieve also because in many places around the world, rulers and leaders oppress people, speak falsely against them, and treat them as worthless. We pray that every person whom you have created will know that their importance and value comes from being the work of your hands and not from accomplishments, wealth, or the powers of this world. And as the Senate prepares for its business today, we pray for your wisdom and grace to guide each senator and Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax. May they and all of us seek your will and align ourselves with your values of human dignity and love of neighbor. By the power of your Holy Spirit, we pray that your work through this elected body would continue to unite people in love and in truth. Open our eyes that we may see that you are the one who seeks to bring us back into right relationship as you strengthen the weak, enlighten the bewildered, comfort the hurting. And by the presence of your Spirit, let the work of this body be informed and transformed by your grace so that God is honored and glorified by the work that is done here. Amen.
Amen.
Clerk will call the roll. All those in attendance will please record their vote aye. Clerk will close the roll.
You have a quorum, Mr. President. Senate Journal for Thursday, January 11, 2018.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The junior senator from Richmond City, Senator McClellan, moves that the reading of the journal be waived. All in favor of waiving the reading of the journal will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 34, noes 4.
Ayes 34, noes 4. The reading of the journal is waived. The clerk will report any communication from the House of Delegates. Senator from James City County, Senator Norman.
Top of the day to you, Mr. President.
Top of the day, Senator.
I respectfully move that we waive the reading of any communications received from the House of Delegates, sir.
I thank the senator. The question is, shall the reading of the communication be waived? All in favor of waiving the reading of the communication from the House of Delegates will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 35, noes 3.
Ayes 35, noes 3. The reading of the communication from the House of Delegates is waived. Clerk will report any communication from the governor.
We do not have any, sir.
Sorry to hear that. Now comes the time in the morning hour where we have the privilege and pleasure of greeting our distinguished guests here in the Senate gallery. I would do my daily friendly reminder that the way this proceeds is the senator will rise and recognize an individual or group. I will then extend the warm welcome of the Senate, and we will then all clap together at once at the end. I'd like to begin by calling on the junior senator from Loudoun County, Senator Wexton.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise for an introduction.
Thank the senator. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Joining us in the gallery today is a group of young women visiting us from Northern Virginia. They are here from Rise to Run, a movement that mobilizes students and young women and girls and trains progressive high school girls, college-age women to run for office and become involved in the political process. And so they're here today learning about what we do down here in Richmond. We are joined by Pooja Tanjore, Claire Tracy, Bethany Geselman, and Jesseline Pass, and they are accompanied by Sharon Walters. So if you would kindly give to them the warm welcome of the Senate.
Thanks. The Journal will note that it came from that side right there, and in particular that corner. I don't want to disparage everybody, but would our friends from Rise to Run please rise in the gallery if you're able? Thank you all so much for joining us here today. Thank you for your leadership and the example that you're setting. We look forward to the day when you're running for office and holding office and serving the Commonwealth of Virginia. You have so many wonderful examples here of great leaders, in particular great women during Women's History Month. And so we look forward to bright futures for each one of you. Keep going, keep running. And I would ask everyone to please join me in extending the warm welcome of the Senate to our friends from Rise to Run. Senator from Portsmouth, Senator Lucas.
Good morning, Mr. President.
Good morning, Senator.
Mr. President, I rise for the purpose of an introduction.
Thanks, Senator. You have the floor.
Seated in the gallery, two very, very important people, two ladies who are responsible for my Senate page, Scarlet. Ms. Elizabeth Rainey and Becky Hinkle, mother and grandmother of Senate page Scarlet Rainey, who I understand enjoyed sitting in this seat last night and pretending that she was Senator Lucas. One day you might be sitting here for real.
I thank the senator. The family of Scarlet Rainey, please rise in the gallery if you're able. Thank you all so much for joining us here today. We are so grateful for your presence and also grateful for you allowing Scarlett to serve as a page. She has done a phenomenal job as a member of this page class. We are so grateful to have her here, and you raised her very well. It's a testament to you as a family. I would ask everybody to please join me in extending the warmest welcome of the Senate to the mother and grandmother of Scarlet Rainey. Senator from Henrico, Senator Donovan.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise for the purpose of an introduction.
Thank the senator. You have the floor.
I would be very grateful, Mr. President, if you would welcome Reverend Teresa McRoberts, who gave the beautiful invocation and set us on the right path for the day and the weekend.
I thank the senator. Would Reverend Teresa McRoberts please rise to the gallery? Reverend, thank you so much for joining us here today and echo the generous and kind words of the senator from Henrico. That was a really gorgeous prayer, and we are so grateful to you for getting us off on the right foot and also for your moral leadership here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. We wish you nothing but the best and God's blessings, and you're welcome here anytime. I would ask everybody to please join me in extending the warmest welcome of the Senate to Reverend McRoberts. The senior senator from Richmond City, Senator Sturtevant.
Good morning, Mr. President. I
morning,
rise
Senator.
for an introduction.
Senator has the floor.
Mr. President, we have some family of my seatmate, the senator from Lynchburg, joining us today in the Senate gallery. Senator Peake has given me his mother's side of the family tree that I will try to get through here. But joining us today are Joe and Jane Beatty from Greensboro, North Carolina. They are the senator from Lynchburg's aunt and uncle. Mr. Beatty is a retired attorney in Greensboro, and he's one of the inspirations for for Senator Peake and his brother to go to law school. And Mr. and Mrs. Beatty have two children, a daughter in Greensboro and a son who went to UVA and now is working at a large law firm in Charlotte, North Carolina. And in addition to the Beattys, Senator Peake's cousin, Suzanne Pachelis and Betsy Peters are here with us as well, and I would ask that you offer them the warm welcome of the Senate, Mr. President.
I thank the senator. Would the family of Senator Mark Peake please rise in the gallery if you're able? Thank you all so much for joining us here today. We are grateful that you took the time to visit and to make the trip, and also grateful for your support of Senator Peake. He was a wonderful person, and we're very honored by his service, and grateful for his wonderful family and the support you have provided, including your inspiration to send him to law school, and he's used that degree very well. And so thank you for coming all the way from Greensboro. In some cases, you have some UVA grads in your family. It's probably a good time to note that UVA won last night on a buzzer beater, and that was a great thing. And so you're welcome here anytime as members of the Senate. And I would ask everyone please to join me in extending the warmest welcome of the Senate to the family of Senator Mark Peake. The senior senator from Loudoun County, Senator Black.
Mr. President, could the journal reflect that the gentlelady from Fauquier, my seatmate, is gone on pressing personal business?
The journal will so note. Thank the senator. Senior senator from Virginia Beach, Senator Wagner.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask that the journal reflect that my seatmate, the senator from King George, Senator Stewart, is absent today due to pressing and personal business.
The journal will so note. I thank the senator. The junior senator from Richmond City, Senator McClellan.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise for 2 introductions.
Thank the senator. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Joining us in the gallery today, we have Karen and Andy Lynn from Ashland, who are here to see their son, Ethan, in action. Ethan is currently serving as one of our pages, and he is from an 8th grader from Liberty Middle School. His little sister, Lucy, couldn't miss school to be here today, which is probably good. But she wanted to make sure he knew that she's very proud of his work. And I ask that you welcome Ethan's parents, Karen and Andy, to the Senate today.
I thank the senator. Would Karen and Andy Lynn please rise in the gallery if you're able? Karen and Andy, thank you so much for being here today. I also want to thank Lucy, who we know could not be here, but we're grateful to her as well. Thank you also for allowing Ethan to serve with us in the PAGE program. He is really phenomenal, and we have enjoyed him so much. He has done a great job, and you have raised a fine young man, and he's going to go on to do great things. So you're wonderful parents, and we appreciate you. You're members of the Senate family. Welcome here anytime, and I would ask everyone to please join me in extending the warm welcome of the Senate to the parents of Ethan Lynn. Junior senator from Richmond City, Senator McClellan.
Thank you, Mr. President. My next introduction is 2 gentlemen that I believe are very familiar to you. The first is Kenyon McDuffie, who is vice chair of the Council of the District of Columbia. Kenyon is a graduate of Howard and Maryland Law School, is a former prosecutor, and is the past chair of the Council of Governments. Joining him today is Roger Fairfax Jr., who is the vice dean at GW Law School. He's also a former federal prosecutor and loves Harvard University. He's a graduate of both Harvard University Law School and his wife, who is currently a professor at GW Law School, is also a double Harvard grad. They have 3 children, and 2 of them are currently at Harvard Law School. So they really love Harvard, and they also really love you, Mr. President. And I ask you to give them a warm welcome.
I thank the senator very much. I think they may love Harvard more than they love me. But I would ask Roger Fairfax Jr. and Kenyon McDuffie, councilmen, please to rise in the gallery. Thank you both for joining us here today. It really is a special occasion, and I'm so grateful to each of you. Of course, we all grew up together, and I would not be who I am or where I am without the inspiration that each one of you has provided, the support, the love, and the friendship. And I'm so proud of you and the senator, junior senator from Richmond City, Senator McClellan, said it all, but you are a family to me. I'm so grateful to you and love you very dearly and wish you nothing but the best. I would ask everyone please to join me in extending the warmest welcome of the Senate to my 2 brothers, my oldest brother, Roger Fairfax Jr., and Councilman Kenyon McDuffie. Do any other senators wish to be recognized for purposes of an introduction? Is there any other business to come in the morning hour? Seeing none, the clerk will call the calendar.
Senate calendar for Friday, March the 2nd, 2018. Page 10, unfinished business House. House Bill 287. The House has rejected the Senate substitute.
Senator from Grayson, Senator Carrico.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that we insist on the amendments and ask for a committee of conference.
Thank you, Senator. The question is, shall the Senate insist on its amendments and request a committee of conference? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 36, noes 0.
Ayes 36, noes 0.
House Bill 690. The House has rejected the Senate substitute.
Senator from Spotsylvania, Senator Reeves.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would move that we insist and request a committee of conference.
Thank the Senator. The question is, shall the Senate insist on its amendment and request a committee of conference? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk, close the roll.
Ayes 38, noes 0.
Ayes 38, noes 0.
House Bill 1000. The House has rejected the Senate substitute.
Senator from Bedford, Senator Newman.
Mr. President, I move that we insist on our amendment and request a committee of conference.
Thank the Senator. The question is, shall the Senate insist on its amendment and request a committee of conference? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 37, noes 0.
Ayes 37, noes 0.
House Bill 1055. The House has rejected the Senate substitute.
Senator from Rockingham, Senator Obenshain.
Mr. President, I move that we insist on our substitute and request a committee of conference.
Thank the Senator. The question is, shall the Senate insist on its substitute and request a committee of conference? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk, close the roll.
Ayes 38, noes 0.
Ayes 38, noes 0.
House Bill 1157. The House has rejected the Senate amendment.
Senator from Bedford, Senator Newman.
Mr. President, I move that we insist on our amendment and request a committee of conference.
Thank the Senator. The question is, shall the Senate insist on its amendment and request a committee of conference? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 38, noes 0.
Ayes 38, noes 0.
House Bill 1419. The House has rejected the Senate substitute.
Senator from Bedford, Senator Newman.
Mr. President, I move that we insist on our committee substitute and request a committee of conference.
I thank the Senator. The question is, shall the Senate insist on its substitute and request a committee of conference? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk, close the roll.
Ayes 38, noes 0.
Ayes 38, noes 0.
Page 13, unfinished business Senate. Senate Bill 49 has passed the House with a substitute.
Senior Senator from Chesapeake, Senator Cosgrove.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask that we reject the House amendment and ask for a committee of conference. I am so sorry. With a recommendation that be rejected, I move that we accept the House amendment. Substitute.
Thank the Senator. With the recommendation that it be rejected, the question is, shall the substitute be agreed to? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 1, noes 36.
Ayes 1, noes 36.
Senate Bill 69 has passed the House with amendment.
Senator from Northern Fairfax, Senator Howe.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that we agree to the House amendment and speaking to it.
Senator has the floor.
This was the bill that once again was trying to take the sunset clause off of the Arlington transient occupancy tax. What the House did was put another sunset clause on it. But as that's the only way it's going to pass, I would ask that you please accept the amendment.
Thank the Senator. The question is, shall the Senate concur with the House amendment? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 33, noes 5.
Ayes 33, noes 5.
Senate Bill 106 has passed the House with amendment.
Senator from Roanoke County, Senator Suderline.
Mr. President, I move that the Senate concur with the House amendment.
Senator has the floor.
The House amendment to Senate Bill 106 is identical to the Senate amendment to the companion House bill. Both amendments are formatting the enactment clause and nothing else. The text is the same that we passed, and I hope it will be the pleasure of the body to concur with the House amendment.
Thank the Senator. Question is, shall the Senate concur with the House amendment? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 20, noes 18.
Ayes 20, noes 18.
Senate Bill 129 has passed the House with amendments.
Senior Senator from Chesapeake, Senator Cosgrove.
Mr. President, I move that we accept the House amendments. And speaking to that,
Senator has the floor.
Basically, Mr. President, what this does, it allows the city of Portsmouth to be included in the bill, which basically allows road improvement pro rata costs for localities.
Thank the Senator. Question is, shall the Senate concur with the House amendments? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 38, noes 0.
Ayes 38, noes 0.
Senate Bill 278 has passed the House with a substitute.
From Fairfax City, Senator Peterson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I recommend that we reject the House substitute. Very briefly, this is the prompt payment bill. Got to work out a little bit of language on the liens, and so therefore need to send to conference. So I recommend we reject the House substitute. And having said that, I move the House substitute.
I thank the Senator. With the recommendation that it be rejected, the question is, shall the Senate agree to the House substitute? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 0, noes 38.
Ayes 0, noes 38.
Senate Bill 420 has passed the House with a substitute.
Senator from Hanover, Senator McDougal.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate accept the House amendments.
Thank you, Senator. Want to speak to that?
Mr. President, this bill, there was two things we negotiated as it went through the process. The Senate bill now looks like the House bill that passed this body earlier this week.
Does the senator also want to speak to how cute Reagan McDougal is? She was here last night in our Page program.
Mr. Chairman, I think I might need a little longer than this to be able to express that.
Thanks so much, Senator. Question is, shall the Senate concur with the House substitute? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 31, noes 7.
Ayes 31, noes 7.
Senate Bill 508 has passed the House with a substitute.
Senator from Grayson, Senator Carrico.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that we accept the House substitute. Speaking of the substitute,
Senator has the floor.
The substitute basically allows all law enforcement officers to use the drones for traffic assessments and accidents. In the original bill, it had stated state police, but it allows other law enforcement to do the same, and I hope we accept the substitute.
Thank the senator. Question is, shall the Senate concur with the House substitute? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk, close the roll.
Ayes 37, noes 0.
Ayes 37, noes 0.
Senate Bill 562 is passed the House with a substitute.
Senator from Rockingham, Senator Obenshain.
Mr. President, could we pass this by temporarily?
Without objection, Senate Bill 562 will be passed by temporarily.
Senate Bill 565 is passed the House with amendments.
Senator from Rockingham, Senator Obenshain.
Mr. President, I would respectfully move the adoption of the House amendments with the recommendation that they be rejected. This is the DNA bill, and there's a difference between the House version and our version with respect to how many and what misdemeanors are encompassed by it, and it really needs to get in conference to work that out.
Thank the senator. With the recommendation that they be rejected, the question is, shall the Senate concur with the House amendments? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk, close the roll.
Ayes 0, noes 38.
Ayes 0, noes 38.
Senate Bill 609 has passed the House with amendment.
Senator from Eastern Fairfax, Senator Surville.
Thank you, Mr. President. Speaking to the House amendments.
Thank the senator. You have the floor.
Ladies and gentlemen, the House basically added an amendment to this to say that my bill was declaratory of existing law, which is what it is, and so I would move that we accept the amendments.
Thank the senator. Question is, shall the Senate concur with the House amendment? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk, close the roll.
Ayes 38, noes 0.
Ayes 38, noes 0.
Senate Bill
Mr. President. Mr. President.
Senior Senator from Richmond City.
Having voted on the prevailing side by which we passed Senate Bill 508 on page 15, I move that we reconsider that vote.
By which we agree to the substitute? So, yeah, okay, so I'll restate the question, but it's a motion to reconsider. Question is, shall the vote by which we agree to the substitute on Senate Bill 508 be reconsidered? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk, close the roll.
Ayes 38, noes 0.
Ayes 38, noes 0. The motion is agreed to. Senator from Grayson, Senator Carrico.
Mr. President, having previously been explained, I ask that we concur with the House amendments.
Thank the senator. Question is, shall the Senate concur with the House substitute? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk, close the roll.
Ayes 38, noes 0.
Ayes 38, noes 0.
Senate Bill 636 has passed the House with amendment.
Senator from Henrico, Senator Donovan.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that we accept the House amendment and speak to that amendment.
Thank you, Senator. You have the floor.
This amendment removes the financial clause from the end of the bill, and it's simply because it's included in both budgets. I request the body move the amendment.
Thank the senator. The question is, shall the Senate concur with the House amendment? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 38, noes 0.
Ayes 38, noes 0.
Senate Bill 725 is passed the House with amendment.
Senator from Henrico, Senator Donovan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Speak to the amendment.
Senator has the floor.
I move that we accept the House amendment. It's simply a technical change to cite the more appropriate part of code.
Thank the senator. Question is, shall the Senate concur with the House amendment? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 38, noes 0.
Ayes 38, noes 0.
Senate Bill 813 is passed the House with a substitute.
Senator from Lynchburg, Senator Peake.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. As much as it pains me to do so, I must move that we accept the lower chamber's substitute.
Senator, want to speak to that?
Speaking to the substitute, as the lower chambers want to do, they simply changed around a few words that it had no effect whatsoever on the bill.
Thank the senator. Question is, shall the Senate concur with the House substitute? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 38, noes 0.
Ayes 38, noes 0.
Senate Bill 833 is passed the House with a substitute.
Senator from Grayson, Senator Carrico.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask that we concur with the House substitute and speaking to that substitute.
Senator has the floor.
Mr. President, this is the trap and trace bill. This is the bill that allows law enforcement to use the trap and trace or PIN registry without warrants. And what the substitute does is just clarifying, ensuring that the law enforcement has the opportunity to do this when we're dealing with child abduction. And I would hope that we would pass the substitute.
Thank the senator. The question is, shall the Senate concur with the House substitute? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 38, noes 0.
Ayes 38, noes 0.
Senate Bill 851 passed the House with a substitute.
Senator from Western Fairfax, Senator Marsden.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that we concur with the House substitute. Speaking to that motion.
Thank the senator. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is the Correctional Officers Procedural Act, and what the House substitute does is puts it in alignment with a similar act for police officers. It does two things. It disallows a representative that the correctional officer would have at his initial investigatory hearing or investigatory questioning, and it also provides the agency with a different option for the written notification to the person of the charges they are going to face. So it puts it in line with the Policeman's Act, and I move again to that we concur with the House substitute.
Thank the senator. Question is, shall the Senate concur with the House substitute? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 38, noes 0.
Ayes 38, noes 0.
Mr. President.
Senator from Lynchburg, Senator Key.
Having voted on the prevailing side of Senate Bill 106, I would ask that we reconsider that vote.
On page 13. Question is, shall the vote by which Senate agreed to the House amendment on Senate Bill 106 be reconsidered? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 38, noes 0.
Ayes 38, noes 0. Senator from Roanoke County, Senator Suderline.
Mr. President, having previously explained the House formatting amendment, I hope it will be the pleasure of the body to concur with the House amendment.
Thank the Senator. Question is, shall the Senate...
President. I'm sorry to
Senator
interrupt you,
from
sir.
Chesapeake, Senator Cosgrove.
Gentleman, answer a question, please.
Senator, yield for a question.
Certainly.
Senator yields.
Thank you. I asked the gentleman, looking at the change on the text of the bill, it says these changes will occur after the 2020 census. Is that correct?
Correct, which was what we did as well. It's simply putting in an enactment clause rather than a section of the bill.
All right, I thank the gentleman.
Thank the Senator. The question is, shall the Senate concur with the House amendment? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 21, noes 17.
Ayes 21, noes 17.
Senate Bill 899 is passed the House with a substitute.
Senator from James City County, Senator Norman.
Mr. President, I respectfully ask that we pass Senate Bill 899 by for the day, sir.
Without objection, Senate Bill 899 will be passed by for the day.
Senate Bill 902 has passed the House with amendment.
Senator from Portsmouth, Senator Lucas.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the House amendment be approved.
Thank the Senator. To speak to the amendment, you have the floor.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. Mr. President, what Senate Bill 902 does is the property tax exemption for solar energy equipment and facilities. It amends the property tax exemption for solar equipment and facilities owned and operated by businesses to apply to 80% of the value of certain properties for 150 megawatts. I move again that the bill be approved.
Thank the Senator. Question is, shall the Senate concur with the House amendment? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 35, noes 2.
Ayes 35, noes 2.
Senate Bill 920 has passed the House with a substitute.
Senator from Alexandria, Senator Eben.
Mr. President, I move that the Senate concur with the House substitute and speaking to that motion.
Senator has the floor.
This is the bill that had to do with the waiting period before an application for adoption could be considered after a drug possession conviction. And the Senate had voted to take it from the 10-year period that we have currently to the federal limit of 5 years, and the House wanted to go to 8 years. So I'm going to reluctantly suggest that we go along with the House for 8 years, and there are additional requirements for a random drug test and a substance abuse treatment program. That's the only way this is going to change. And for those that were in the rehab committee, this will help the people who actually came with that particular situation. So with that, I would again renew my motion that we accept the the House substitute.
Thank the Senator. The question is, shall the Senate concur with the House substitute? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 38, noes 0.
Ayes 38, noes 0.
Senate Bill 231, the House insists on its amendment and requests a committee of conference.
Senator from Augusta, Senator Hanger.
Mr. President, I move that the Senate accede to the House request for a committee of conference.
Thank the Senator. Question is, shall the Senate accede to the House request for a committee of conference? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 37, noes 0.
Ayes 37, noes 0.
Conferees on the part of the Senate on Senate Bill 231, as named by the co-chairs of Senate Finance, Senators Norman and Hanger, or Senators Hanger, Norman, and Dance. Turning to page 21, uncontested calendar, House bills on third reading.
Senator from James City County, Senator Norman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would now move all the House bills on the third reading on the uncontested calendar, including all House bills on pages 21 through 30, including House Bill 161 through House Bill 1583, be placed on their final passage in the block after the adoption of any amendments. Any senator who may desire to remove a House bill from the block should please do so after the clerk has read the number of that bill.
Thank the senator. Question is, shall House bills on the uncontested calendar, third reading, pages 21 through 30, House Bill 161 through House Bill 1583, be placed upon their final passage in a block after the adoption of any amendments thereto, with the understanding that any senator desiring a bill be removed from the block will do so after the clerk has read the number of the bill. All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is agreed to. The bills are before us in the block. Clerk will read the number of the bills.
House Bill 161, reported from the Committee on Local Government. House Bill 233, reported from the Committee on Local Government. House Bill 297, reported from the Committee on Finance. House Bill 528, reported from the Committee on Rehabilitation and Social Services with amendments and from the Committee on Finance.
Senator from Spotsylvania, Senator Reeves.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the committee amendments.
Thank the senator. Question is, shall the committee amendments be agreed to? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The committee amendments are agreed to.
House Bill 592, reported from the Committee on Local Government. House Bill 729, reported from the Committee on Finance with an amendment.
Senator from Augusta, Senator Hanger.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the committee amendment be agreed to.
Thank the senator. The question is, shall the committee amendment be agreed to? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The committee amendment is agreed to.
House Bill 760, reported from the Committee on Finance. House Bill 765, reported from the Committee on Finance with amendments.
Senator from Augusta, Senator Hanger.
Mr. President, I move the committee amendments be agreed to.
Thank the senator. The question is, shall the committee amendments be agreed to? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The committee amendments are agreed to.
House Bill 769, reported from the Committee on Finance with a substitute.
Senator from Augusta, Senator Hanger.
President, I move the committee substitute be agreed to.
Thank the senator. The question is, shall the committee substitute be agreed to? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The committee substitute is agreed to.
House Bill 770, reported from the Committee on Finance with a substitute.
Senator from Augusta, Senator Hanger.
Mr. President, I move the committee substitute be agreed to.
Senator from Chesterfield, Senator Chase.
Mr. President, can that bill come out and go by for the day, please?
Without objection, House Bill 770 will be removed from the block and go by for the day.
House Bill 821, reported from the Committee on Finance. House Bill 877, reported from the Committee on Agriculture, Conservation, and Natural Resources with amendments, and from the Committee on Finance with an amendment.
Senator from Augusta, Senator Hanger.
Mr. President, I first move that the amendments from the Committee on Agriculture be approved.
Thank the senator. The question is, shall the committee amendments from the Committee on Agriculture be adopted? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The committee amendments are adopted. Senator from Augusta, Senator Hanger.
Mr. President, I move that the committee amendments from the Committee on Finance be approved.
Thank the senator. The question is, shall the committee amendment from the Committee on Finance be adopted? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The committee amendment is adopted.
House Bill 999, reported from the Committee on Commerce and Labor with a substitute, and from the Committee on Finance with a substitute. And we have a floor sub.
Senator from Augusta, Senator Hanger.
Mr. President, with the recommendation that it be rejected, I would move the adoption of the substitute from the Committee on Finance.
Commerce and Labor.
Commerce and Labor. Commerce and Labor.
Oh. Okay.
Senior Senator from Virginia Beach, Senator Wagner.
Trying to usurp, Mr. President, but with a recommendation that it be rejected, I move we accept the committee amendments from the Committee of Commerce and Labor.
Thank the senator. With the recommendation that it be rejected, Question is, shall the substitute from Commerce and Labor be adopted? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. No. The noes have it. The substitute is rejected. Senator from Augusta, Senator Hanger.
Thank you, Mr. President. Now I would move that the substitute from the Senate Finance Committee be agreed to, but I ask the members to reject that motion.
Thank the Senator. With the recommendation that it be rejected, the question is, shall the substitute from the Committee on Finance be agreed to? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. No. The noes have it. The substitute is rejected. Senator from Augusta, Senator Hanger.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that we waive the reading of the floor substitute.
Thank the Senator. The question is, shall the reading of the floor substitute be waived? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The reading of the floor substitute is
want me to read that?
waived. Seeing only 4 hands, we're going to keep going. Senator from Augusta, Senator Hanger.
Thank you, Mr. President. With that, I move the adoption of the floor substitute, and I'd like to speak to that.
Senator has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the Senate. This is strictly technical. Staff in reviewing this observed that there were just a couple of technical amendments that needed to be made, and that preserves the total intent of the original substitute that was presented by the Senate Finance Committee. So again, I move its adoption.
Thank the Senator. The question is, shall the floor substitute be adopted? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The floor substitute is adopted.
House Bill 1132, reported from the Committee on Local Government. House Bill 1138, reported from the Committee on Finance. House Bill 1362, reported from the Committee on Finance. House Bill 1388, reported from the Committee on Finance. House Bill 1452, reported from the Committee on Local Government. House Bill 1546, reported from the Committee on Local Government. House Bill 1551, reported
Mr. President.
Senator from Chesterfield, Senator Chase.
Can House Bill 1492 come out of the block and go by for the day, please?
Without objection, House Bill
52.
52? 1452? Okay. House Bill, without objection, House Bill 1452 will be removed from the block and go by for the day.
House Bill 1551, reported from the Committee on Finance. House Bill 1583, reported from the Committee on Finance with an amendment and a floor amendment.
Senator from Augusta, Senator Hanger.
Thank you, Mr. President. I first move the Finance Committee amendment.
Thank you, Senator. The question is, shall the committee amendment from the Committee on Finance be adopted? All in favor of the motion will say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The committee amendment is adopted. Senator from Augusta, Senator Hanger.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would then move that we waive the reading of the floor amendment.
Thank you, Senator. The question is, shall the reading of the floor amendment be waived? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The reading of the floor amendment is waived. Senator from Augusta, Senator Hanger.
I move the adoption of the floor amendment, and I'd like to speak to that.
Senator has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members of the Senate, I've discussed this with the senator from Bedford, and also through him, the patron of the bill. We discovered that there may be some fiscal implications on this bill, so this simply adds the fiscal contingency clause. I move its adoption.
Thank the Senator. The question is, shall the floor amendment be agreed to? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The floor amendment is agreed to.
Mr. President.
Senator from Roanoke County, Senator Suderline.
Can House Bill 1388 please come out of the block for the purpose of some abstentions?
Without objection, House Bill 1388 is removed from the block. Question is, shall the House bills pass in a block? That is, all bills except for House Bill 770, 1452, and 1388. All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 38, no 0.
Ayes 38, no 0. The bills in the block pass.
Returning to House Bill 1388 on page 29.
Mr. President.
Senator from Augusta, Senator Hanger.
Thank you. I would move that House Bill 1388 pass and speak to that just briefly.
Senator has the floor.
Thank you. Since I observed that this was taken out just so someone could abstain, I'll be brief. But this requires the implementation of the Next Generation 911 service by July 1st, 2023. I hope to be the member's pleasure to pass the bill.
Thank the senator. Do any other senators wish to be heard on House Bill 1388? Seeing none, the question is, shall House Bill 1388 pass? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 36, no 0. Rule 36-2.
Ayes 36, no 0. Rule 36-2. House Bill 1388 passes.
Regular calendar, House bills on third reading.
Senator from James City County, Senator Norman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm going to respectfully move that all the House bills on the third reading on the regular calendar, including all House bills on pages 31 through 42, including House Bill 424 through House Bill 1568, be passed by for the day.
Thank the senator. Question is, shall all House bills on third reading, including House Bills 424 through 1568, be passed by for the day? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is agreed to. Bills are passed by for the day.
Uncontested calendar, House bills on second reading.
Senator from James City County, Senator Norman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I respectfully move that all of the House bills on the second reading on pages 43 through 63, including House Bill 3 through House Bill 1550, that the rules of the Senate be suspended and that the second constitutional reading of the titles be dispensed with.
Thank the senator. Question is, shall the rules be suspended and the second reading of the titles of House bills on the uncontested and regular calendars, pages 43 through 63, House Bill 3 through House Bill 1550, be dispensed with? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 37, no 0.
Ayes 37, no 0. The reading of the titles is dispensed with. Senator from James City County, Senator Norman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I now move that all of the bills be passed by for the day, sir.
Thank the senator. Question is, shall the House bills on the uncontested and regular calendars now on third reading be passed by for the day? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bills will go by for the day.
Regular calendar, Senate bill on first reading, Senate Bill 995, a bill to amend and reenact 33.2-1204 of the Code of Virginia relating to outdoor advertising. Uncontested calendar, House Joint Resolution on third reading. House Joint Resolution 6, proposing an amendment to Section 6-A of Article 10 of the Constitution of Virginia relating to real property tax exemption. Reported from the Committee on Privileges and Elections and from the Committee on Finance.
Senator from James City County, Senator Norman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would respectfully ask that that bill be passed by for the day, sir.
Without objection, House Joint Resolution 6 will be passed by for the day.
Uncontested calendar, House Joint Resolutions on second reading.
Senator from James City County, Senator Norman.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I respectfully move that all of the House Joint Resolutions on the second reading on both the uncontested and regular calendar, including all resolutions on pages 64 through 67, including House Joint Resolution number 16 through House Joint Resolution 151, that the rules of the Senate be suspended and that the second constitutional reading of the titles be dispensed with.
Thank the Senator.
Sort of.
The question is, shall the rules be suspended in the second reading of the titles of the House Joint Resolutions on the uncontested and regular calendars, pages 64 through 70, House Joint Resolution 16 through House Joint Resolution 151 be waived? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote?
I'll start thinking about it.
Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 38, noes 0.
Ayes 38, no 0. The reading of the titles is waived. Senator from James City County, Senator Norman.
Mr. President, with the exception of House Joint Resolution 151 on page 7, I would now move that all of the remaining House Joint Resolutions which find themselves on the third reading be passed by for the day.
Thank the Senator. With the exception of House Joint Resolution 151, question is, shall the House Joint Resolutions on the uncontested and regular calendars now on third reading be passed by for the day? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The resolutions will go by for the day.
House Joint Resolution 151, commending the 1987 Washington Redskins replacement players. Reported from the Committee on Rules.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator from Fairfax City, Senator Peterson.
I move that we agree to the resolution and speak to the motion.
Senator has the floor.
Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, it's been 30 years since one of the greatest moments in the history of sports, which was, of course, the Redskins winning the Super Bowl in 1988, which was made possible by the victories of the replacement players, most notably when they beat the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas using replacement players while they were playing their starters. We are going to have the Redskins representatives here next week, and I want to thank the Redskins Pride Caucus, Senator Spruill, Senator Lucas, Senator Stanley. We're going to pull that together. I will, and if you raise your hand, you got to pay. So, anyways, but we'll pull that together. But I move that we approve the resolution.
Thank the Senator.
Mr. President.
Senator from Western Fairfax, Senator Marson.
I yield.
Thank you, Mr. President. Can any of these replacement Redskin players still play basketball?
We'll see what we can do about that. Yes, sir.
Thank the Senator. The question is, shall House Joint Resolution 151 be agreed to? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. Resolution is agreed to.
Go Packers.
Motion to reconsider.
Uncontested calendar, Senate Joint Resolution on second reading, Senate Joint Resolution 191, confirming appointments by the governor of certain persons communicated February 23, 2018. Uncontested calendar.
We gotta engross in advance.
We would either need to engross in advance or pass that by for the day, Senator. Which you prefer?
Clerk reads title, only action.
Not for Senate Joint Resolution 191.
191, she's read the title, so that moves it to the third reading, so we pass it by for the day. No?
One of the two. Engross in advance.
Yeah.
Mr. President. Yeah, Mr. President, I ask we engross the bill and pass on its third reading.
Thank the Senator. Question is, shall Senate Joint Resolution 191 be engrossed in advance? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. Senate Joint Resolution 191 is engrossed in advance to its third reading.
Uncontested calendar, Senate Joint Resolutions on first reading, Senate Joint Resolution 162, commending the Virginia Association of Free and Charitable Clinics, Incorporated. Senate Joint Resolution 207, commending the Virginia Department of Veterans Services Benefits Section.
Senator from James City County, Senator Norman.
The senator from Bedford and I were just having a discussion. I told him, he said, do you have all these motions written down? And I said, no, but sometimes I hit the wrong tape in my head. And that was one. Inquiry of the clerk, does that complete today's calendar?
No, sir. We need to return to page 15, Senate Bill 562.
Senator from Rockingham, Senator Obenshain.
Mr. President, spoliation. I got some attention. Mr. President, this has nothing to do with spoliation. This is the restitution bill. I would respectfully move that we adopt the House substitute with the recommendation that we reject it. The House substitute requires some funding. This is the restitution bill that's part of the deal to raise the threshold for petty larceny or for felony larceny. However, the funding issue just needs to be worked out as this works its way through. So I would ask that we reject the House substitute to put this in conference.
Thank the Senator. With the recommendation that it be rejected, the question is, shall the Senate concur with the House substitute? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 0, noes 38.
Ayes 0, noes 38. Senator from James City County, Senator Norman.
Mr. President, can we perhaps reconsider some of the bills that were passed by? I thought maybe we would talk about child seats for a couple of hours. So. But I feel the arrows coming already, sir. Well, on reflection, Madam Clerk, does that complete the calendar?
We need to name conferees on House Bill 911 on page 11. Conferees on the part of the Senate is named by the Chairman of Commerce and Labor, Senator Wagner, or Senators McDougal, Stanley, and Dance. That's it.
Is there any other business to come before the Senate? Senior Senator from Virginia Beach, Senator Wagner.
Mr. President, a point of personal privilege.
The Senator has the floor.
And I will be brief. I recognize it's Friday, and it's not even 11 o'clock yet, and we're looking at leaving here. But I just thought, after the great debate yesterday on the need or whether or not we need to harden the grid, make the grid more sustainable, I just want to lay a few numbers on you as of 9:05 this morning. As of 9:05 this morning, there were 194,000 Dominion Virginia Power customers without power, and 143,000 of those were in Northern Virginia. That doesn't count Loudoun County and those areas which are covered by the Northern Virginia Electric Co-op, NOVEC. This is just the Dominion service territory. And in Shenandoah Valley, there were 20,000 customers out of power. And here in Richmond, there are 11,632. Lest you doubt that there's a reason to do that, there are schools closed in my neck of the woods. There are businesses shut down today across the Commonwealth simply because the grid cannot sustain the gust of wind we have. Mr. President, I'd like to continue, if I could, on one more subject.
Senator has the floor.
We are currently interviewing for judges on behalf of the State Corporation Commission. Judge Dimitri has retired early with a 2-year remaining term left on his particular term. We are interviewing candidates for that position. One of the candidates that has expressed interest, which we will interview next week, is a former colleague of ours, probably one of the sharpest brains that I have ever had the opportunity. We would like to interview him also as part of the process for the Committee of Commerce and Labor. In that, this rumor mill that we call the Capitol and the speculation and all of that is that somehow he would retire after 2 years and that I would move into that position. In the words of Lyndon Baines Johnson, I will not seek nor will I accept the nomination of this body or the body down the hall to be a State Corporation Commission judge in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Let's make that perfectly clear. I don't want to do anything to besmirch that. There's never been any conversations on my part with any one of you about any speculation about that. This is reporters' run amok on things that they might have heard from somebody, God knows who, and God knows for what reason. But I wanted to clear that up for you because if there's one thing we have in this body, it is integrity and it's honesty to move forward. And I mean, you know, when I was ambushed by a reporter down here, and this reporter has made it a case that somehow our investor-owned utilities across the Commonwealth are the worst thing to ever happen to the Commonwealth of Virginia. and I happen to think they do a pretty damn good job. But I was taken back by those speculations, and I just wanted to clear that up for everybody in this body. I don't know if he's written the article or if it's going out for the Fifth Estate. What do we call them? Fourth Estate? Well, whatever they're called, that are here today. I just wanted to make that really clear, because I don't want any of y'all to go home thinking when you read that article there's somehow some nefarious activity on my mind. I'm trying to find the best candidate we can to fill a 2-year term on that. And obviously Senator Peterson's not prepared to make the same speech I'm giving right now, because he raised his hand very definitely. But, Mr. President, I just wanted to clear that up, and beyond that, I will not answer any more reporters' questions on it, because it is a non-issue thought up in the minds of somebody that's trying to create something and create a stink on something that quite frankly, is just not true and totally unfounded. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank the senator. For what purpose is the senior senator from Fairfax? Senator
Point of
Sassoon.
personal privilege.
Senator has the floor.
Mr. President, you may have observed the wind going out front, and Senator Wagner commented on all the power outages that were experienced. I warned Senator Peterson that he was angering the wind gods, and he wouldn't listen to me.
I have to call on you next. What purpose? Senator from Fairfax City, Senator Peterson rise.
Thank you, Mr. President. I actually rise to speak about softball.
Senator has the floor.
I'm very proud to announce my daughter, Mary Walton, made the Fairfax High School softball team. And, well, listen, wait for it. And so my wife, Sharon, called me the other night and let me know, and they had a parents' meeting. And as often happens when you're not there, you get signed up for some duty. And so we're in charge, my wife and I are in charge of the fundraising for the team. And they have one of these predetermined campaigns, and we are selling mulch. No joke. So if you want to buy mulch, you just come see me, and we'll find a way to deliver it to you. Proceeds benefit Fairfax High School softball. Thank you.
Mr. President,
Senator Rockingham, Senator
question, I would wonder whether the high school softball team delivers mulch to Harrisonburg.
Senator from Prince William County, Senator McPike.
I think I need a moment, Mr. President. I rise for the point of personal privilege.
Senator has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm glad the good senator from Virginia Beach had brought up sort of news media outlets running amok with information, and happened upon a news editorial or commentary in one of the larger papers in the Hampton Roads area this week. And so I want to make sure the body understood and corrected for the record in terms of the discussions over I-64 and I-66. And the commentary laid out an argument that for I-66 drivers, the quip was folks can just jump off on the regular lanes. And I wanted to make sure that the body that may have read that article understands there are no regular lanes. And for the record, prices this week were $47.50. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank the senator. Senator from James City County, Senator Norman.
Mr. President, I rise on a point of personal privilege.
Senator has the floor.
The potpourri that's been served up in the last 7 minutes, I'm not exactly sure where to start. The one senator mentioned softballs, and I told the governor this morning that I used to be a slow-pitch softball pitcher, and so I served him up a softball, and he swung and missed. The senior senator from Virginia Beach dispelling the notion that there was some sort of nefarious plan of succession on the State Corporation Commission. I certainly thank him for his directness and candor, but I did recall that he mentioned that he hoped when he read the article that it accurately reflected what he said. Well, Mr. President, I am hoping that there will be no article, because it would be horrific if all of a sudden this cloud started floating down from the Potomac and there was fake news here in Richmond. So, but, Mr. President, I also want to rise for an announcement on it. Immediately upon adjournment, I would like to invite the entire Senate Republican Caucus to join me very briefly in the conference room just off of the chambers, please.
Thank the senator. Do any other senators wish to rise? Seeing none, clerk will report any announcements on the desk.
Monday, March the 5th, the Republican Caucus will meet 1 hour before session in Senate Room 2. Republican Caucus, 1 hour before session, Senate Room 2. The Democratic Caucus will meet 1/2 hour before session in Senate Room 1. And for those who were not here last night, and I'm sorry that all the pages are not on the floor right now, we had probably the best mock session ever with the pages. And I want to thank the senators who participated and the lieutenant governor and the governor who filled in for Senator Stanley. But they did a tremendous job, and they deserve a round of applause. And the weekend weather report: throughout the Commonwealth, wind gusts of 35 to 50 miles per hour are possible, with stronger winds 50 plus at higher elevations and along the coast. Winds of this strength can cause widespread power outages and damage from trees. There's a possibility of snow this evening in Northern Virginia, Fredericksburg, and the Eastern Shore. Sunday is expected to be dry with temperatures in the 50s. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Senator from James City County, Senator Norman.
Mr. Chairman, I apologize. Another announcement. I just would like to remind all of the budget conferees to remain around for a few minutes until recess is declared. We're awaiting the House of Delegates to get through their calendar. They were going in at 11 o'clock, and hopefully they will be through by noonish.
Thank the senator. No further announcement? So we adjourn. We'll just make one announcement that March Madness has now begun. And so we're rooting for all of our Virginia teams and Duke University. Senator from Bedford, Senator Newman.
Mr. President, I move that the Senate do now adjourn until 12 noon Monday.
Thank the senator. The question is, shall the Senate stand adjourned until 12 noon on Monday? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The Senate stands adjourned until 12 noon on Monday. Great weekend.